My name is Ian Dowson. I do fintech research. My day job is corporate finance around disposals. For 15 years, I did corporate development for a tech group globally. The thing that you won't know about me is that I spent 5.5 months with my 20-year-old nephew in a boxed room flat in Val d'Isère and came out the other end in one piece. Okay, so I'm going to try and relate cyber and fintech together and just give you a flavour of A, the growth of fintech investment, and B, the growth of cyber investment, and then C, talk a little bit about the governance, some of the governance issues. The first news is I've got too many slides, so I'm going to be flicking just to relevant ones. So fintech's enabled by cloud, open source software, devices, mobile phone network operators. They've created a whole fintech ecosystem, APIs to easily transfer data, but it's built upon top of security, identity, trust, and that's the thing we haven't yet solved. There are multiple forces driving fintech. There's the African mobile phone network, which can deliver financial services to people who earn under less than $10 a week, and you can make money out of it. M-Pesa makes 22% of its revenue, and in Kenya they were going to have a bond issue to SMS text phones where you could buy 30 quid's worth of Kenyan government bonds, but they've postponed that. It's hard. Don't get confused the fact that the African mobile phone network, because it's African, it's not highly sophisticated. It beats anything in the West. The internet giants want to grab a piece of fintech, and you can see Android and Apple Pay there, but the real internet giants are Ant Financial, i.e. Alibaba, and Tencent Pay. In China, they dwarf anything being done in the West. You've heard about disintermediation, which is basically you can put software in the cloud and you can hit any part of the value chain for financial services. But I think there are two other just as powerful disintermediation forces. A, the data stack is going to be disintermediated by APIs, and B, the humans who do fintech. They're the brightest and best of the financial services industry. They're being disintermediated from the investment banks, the stock exchanges. I just see so many brilliant people who would have the tag around their neck, managing director, doing a startup, if they, you know. And regulation ain't gonna save 19th century business models. No, that's the wrong way. And that's just to emphasize the point about APIs. Total fintech investments, 150 billion, 50 billion direct, 37 billion acquisitions, and 67 billions already there on the market. Mainly payment companies and payroll clouds and accounting clouds, but this transition has already found itself onto financial markets. Location, 2/3 of it in the States, 16% in the UK, 9% in Europe, and emerging in the rest of the world. And the total fintech investment, this is acquisitions, direct investment and IPOs, 21 billion 2013, 50 billion 2014, and my figure, it's now looking at least 70 billion for 2015. People are actually spending money on this rather than hyping it. Investment categories, payments, 25%, loans, direct and peer-to-peer, 25%, and then you have the enabling technology of cyber fraud identity, process, insurance, capital markets, BI, asset management. Every segment of the financial services ecosystem has many millions of dollars been invested in it to create new forms of business. Cyber security investment, the detailed market segments there. The total is 4.4 billion, of which 2.3 billion has gone into cyber security companies, 432 million into fraud, and 1.7 billion into identity and authentication companies. And you can see the segmentation of the spend, but this slide, which you can't read because the words are too small, just emphasizes the whole ecosystem is being invested in. This goes throughout the whole ecosystem, source code, algorithms, voice. By year, 2014 doubled 2013, and probably 2015 will be double 2014. Right. So, to come on to the summary points. This is analysis by Threat Matrix. 75 million attacks, April, June by geography. And the major place the attacks came from was the United States, United Kingdom, Germany, India, and the Dominican Republic. Sounds a bit like Eurovision.
Can you define what you mean by an attack for me? Would that include an email?
This is a source.
Sent to me?
This is where the attack originated from.
Okay.
The ultimate location.
Okay, so when you say there are 75 million of these attacks, do you mean including that email that David gets sent? Does that count as an attack?
Okay. No, these are attacks to businesses to steal things.
Okay.
This is not the hundreds of millions of emails which get generated every hour.
All right.
These are a graph showing the attacks on direct lenders, online lenders, between March and June. Again, Threat Matrix data. You can see in March, account creation was 0, and now 2.5% of all application for direct lenders and peer-to-peer lenders is rejected because of fraudulent account application. And the same for logging and payments haven't grown, but the growth market there is fraudulent account creation. The kinds of vector attacks: spoofing, bots, and man in the middle. You can see the trends. No? Right. For a chief executive, as we've already had indicated, this thing can be quite fatal. Anybody an Ashley Madison subscriber?
Would admit it.
Silence. But he lost his job, Sony Pictures, Target, the US Department of Office of Personnel, and T-Mobile, JP Morgan, TalkTalk. This was it was quite interesting the way that the T-Mobile breach and Experian breach hit the public. It was in the main via a letter by the the customer, T-Mobile, saying Experian has lost your data. So how these threats impact your company might come from your customer chain, right, rather than internally in the organization. This is the TalkTalk share price. I reckon it was a third, 630 million quid loss, and the 35 million is peanuts, as David said. For the lawyers in the room, this is a Form 8K. You love these kind of things. you don't want to be writing one of these with the words compromised data impacts 76 million households and 7 million small businesses. And that was one written in October last year by JP Morgan Chase and Company. So I think there's got to be a rethink that cyber security must become at the heart of the organisation, not part of an audit committee's functions or the domain of specialists. And I think it's even greater than that. It should be a CEO's skill set, because you can lose the company. Procedural approaches are good, but it's not enough. The ISO, it's got to be dynamic, 24/7, continuous threat assessment and reaction. Disaster and brand recovery plans have got to go up to the board level. It was perfectly obvious that TalkTalk had never thought about this happening in their response. And all staff have to become aware of this. And bring your own device should not become bring your own cyber attack.
You can't bring your own disaster.
Even better one. And cyber security should be at the heart of new systems. And my take on the UK, we have great resources in the UK, but joining them all up is very, very difficult. I find it difficult to find the resources. I was helping a cybersecurity company to get government help, and I thought this should be easy. I'll go to one website. 4 hours later, I was still struggling. We need to get much, much more joined up on this. And it's a core fintech investment area. That's it. Thank you very much.
Okay.